Since we just covered our rounding list itself, we just wanted to explore two additional things within the rounding that will be very helpful for physicians. So going back to inpatient and getting my rounding list itself, the first is the ability to remove patients who don't belong on your list itself, or possibly they may be patients where you're no longer taking care of the patient itself. So scrolling down slightly, this patient in 501A is an example. Let's say hypothetically that I'm no longer taking care of this patient itself. I had temporarily taken care of the patient a few days ago for one of my colleagues, and I'm no longer taking care of the patient. You'll notice on the right-hand side there is a remove button, but it currently doesn't allow me to click on it right now. So to do that, take your mouse to the left-hand side of the patient's name where there's a little box, check on the box itself, and the remove button lights up. Click on remove, and the patient is gone and disappears from your list. Likewise, you might have need the ability to actually add a patient to your list itself. Let's say hypothetically that you receive a phone call from your office informing you that there's a brand new consult, but the patient hasn't necessarily shown up on your list immediately right now. So right above the remove button is the find patient button. I click on find patient. You can type in the information you have available, whether that's name, medical record number, account number, date of birth, or even the location the patient is currently in. Now I know that the name of my patient is last name of Baker, so I start typing the name of Baker, and I can go down to the bottom, click on the search button, and any patient with that last name of Baker will show up. I can look at the dates here. These show the last visit that the patient had, as well as the location. In addition, I can see the age, gender, as well as the date of birth itself. So these things can help me when seeing a list of patients itself, assess which one is the one that is the appropriate one I should be adding itself. So I click on this patient here, and down below I have a couple options. I can add them to my rounding list itself, which allows them to stay on my list and I can access them multiple times over and over. Or I have this OK button, and the OK button will let me have access to this patient's record once, but any future needs of accessing that patient, I'll have to go through the same routine again. So I know that this is a consult that came in to my office via phone call itself, so I'm going to go ahead and click on Add to List to add them to my rounding list. Now, if you are not one of the physicians of record, the family, PCP, attending or admitting, or previous consulting physician itself, the patient won't have an association to you, so you need to specify the reason why you're adding them. And the example I had previously was consult, so right here I'm just going to click on consult and click OK. Click OK one more time. And what it shows me is it shows me that this patient has had multiple visits in the past time frame itself. I'm going to go ahead and just take a look at the list of visits itself. I notice that Dr. Basson is the one who called me, so I'm going to go ahead and check mark that visit. And once I do that, up above that, you'll notice that I can view that selected admission. So now I click on view that selected admission, and I'm taken into the clinical data for that visit itself. So this is adding a patient to your rounding list itself.